Hello everybody, today we're doing some MLB news. This is going to be the second video on MLB news, so we're going to get started. If you guys haven't already, checked out my first video, in which I have all my notes on this side of the paper. But anyway, that was about a couple days ago. I made one about MLB news, talking about some of the news with some manager hirings, and asked a couple channel update questions and some MVPs and Cy Youngs and awards and stuff like that. So if you guys haven't already, I would suggest going to check that video out today. We have some more news that I'm going to go over. So yeah, let's get started. And if you do like this video, if you want to hit that like button or subscribe, I don't care if it's up to you. But comment down below if you agree or disagree with any of these. So let's get started. First thing, we have Robinson Cano suspended, out for 2021. Cano is out. He's out for 2021. Got suspended for, he tested positive for drugs, and he's out, using drugs to basically make his strength and his power go up, make him just an overall better player. And, he's 30, he's 38, 37 years old. He's pretty old. And, 2019 having a bad year, and then 2020 just coming out and doing so well. It was kind of weird. Obviously, it's different with some other old guys that are playing good, like Nelson Cruz, who's been doing this every year. He's never had a bad season yet. He's been doing good. But, never know. Next up, we have Drew Smiley. Signs deal with the Braves. 1 year, $11 million, So, Drew Smiley signs deal with the Braves. Braves are a very good team, and getting a starting pitcher that they needed. They desperately needed. They had Max Fried, Ian Anderson, Mike Fulton-Edwidge, but you get Drew Smiley in there. And that's a really good, capable starter. He has had some bad years, posting 5.6 ERA. There's been some bad years. But if he does what he did last year in minimal starts, that's going to be very good for the Braves. And, that might not be a bad deal. Get some good pitching depth going on, and Drew Smiley could be a big success for the Braves. So 1 year, $11 million. I don't know if injuries probably the worst thing that could happen, unless he posts like a 12 ERA. But yeah. Next up, we have Theo Epstein leaving Cubs. Theo Epstein, the GM of the Cubs, I believe, is leaving or parting ways. They've just been kind of going, Theo Epstein is a very good GM, has led many teams to World Series, got many World Series rings, just like the Cubs, who, a couple years ago weren't that great. 2015, 2014, 2013, they were in a big playoff drought. Or actually not a big playoff drought, World Series drought. And 2016, Theo Epstein came in and just gave them a World Series ring. So, now that they're parting ways, the Cubs are on the downhill. They have Bryant, they have Bryant and Rizzo and Contreras and Baez, but I think some of those guys might be traded, and I just don't see the Cubs going anywhere because they're a team that they have a lot of good pieces, but I just don't see them going anywhere. Next up, we have Francisco Lindor, or DJ LeMahieu, probably going to the Mets rumors. There's a lot of rumors out there that because, this kind of ties with the Robinson Cano thing, the Robinson Cano, suspension, that, because of that, the Mets get $25 million more dollars to their budget, or to, get free agents. And that is, pretty much a lock. They can get Lindor or LeMahieu, and you get them with Trevor Bauer, George Springer, JT Realmuto. He wants to sign guys. If you can get like Lindor and just imagine having a Lindor Realmuto season where you get Francisco Lindor and JT Realmuto. That is a insane offseason, a great one. And they've already made a few moves, re-signing Marcus Stroman. And the Mets, they're going to be in a scary position, or they're going to be a good team. I think that the whole NL East is insane. There is really no bad team right now besides the Nationals, and even them, they're not that bad. They still have good pitching. The NL East is stacked right now. Anyway, next up we have the Hall of Fame voting begins. Hall of Fame voting is beginning. I always like the Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, you get new players to join. But the big thing for me about the Hall of Fame is that I'm a Twins fan, and there's a lot of new players going into the Hall of Fame that are Twins related. We have Torrey Hunter. There's 3 guys. Torrey Hunter's probably the most likely out of all of them. He's somebody I think will go to the Hall of Fame. Many Gold Gloves and all that. Now, this isn't really a Twins video. Shouldn't be just blabbering about the Twins players, but pretty much there are a lot of new guys like Torrey Hunter, who's actually one of the most famous ones, who is going to the Hall of Fame this season. I think Roger Clemens or Curt Schilling is going to make it to the Hall of Fame, but I don't know. Yeah. Next up, we have Clevinger. Mike Clevinger signs a 2-year deal with the Padres because of a Tommy John surgery. If you don't know, that basically Mike Clevinger is going to be out for the 2021 season for the Tommy John surgery. So he signed a 2-year deal to basically extend it so he can come back 2022 and play for the San Diego Padres. Next up, we have Bellinger, Cody Bellinger, who underwent surgery on his arm or shoulder. That when they were celebrating, I think it was in the playoffs, and how he hurt his shoulder. Excuse me. That kind of popped out. I think what happened. So he underwent surgery just like Mike Clevinger. So obviously he underwent surgery. Hopefully he's doing good. He seems good, but having him possibly out part of the 2021 season, or at least some of the spring training, getting ready for that season to come back healthy. So yeah. Next up, we have Cubs trade Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, Jason Hayward. Right now, I think I've said earlier that right now the Cubs are in a weird position because they have a lot of really good players that aren't producing for them. You have Hayward, Baez, Bryant, Rizzo, Contreras, Darvish, who was really good in 2020. Oh, sorry. You see all these guys, and they're going to need to trade some of them because they need prospects. They don't have a good farm system. They're not getting any younger. Some of these guys are getting older. In fact, last year though, you look at all the really good guys like Baez, Bryant, Rizzo, Contreras, all the really good hitters, they did not hit well last year. Especially Bryant and Baez, they both hit like a combined of about 15 home runs with like a 200 average. They just didn't hit last year. Wilson Contreras was probably their best hitter, and he was pretty good. But to say that he's the best hitter and he didn't even hit that like super good, and you have Bryant and Baez and Rizzo and Hayward and all these good players on your team, it's a pretty big letdown. But yeah, there are some Cubs trade rumors going about. I do think that at least one of these next off seasons, one of the Cubs players will be traded. And the last thing is there are some Arenado trade rumors. I know last time we talked about we were talking about Lindor rumors, and we were talking about how Lindor. We were talking about Gary Sanchez maybe being traded. Well, Arenado is also another big guy who might be traded. Another guy that some people say could go to the Mets. I don't know. Maybe, but Arenado is being said to be traded. Which some teams that really need him are people that need third base, and because he's really good defensively and offensively. And there's a lot of teams right now that do need third base. Really the Mets could get him. Losing second base, you could switch over maybe Ahmed Rosario to second, or maybe flip over your third baseman to second, J.D. Davis, I don't know, to get Nolan Arenado, but I really think that wouldn't be a bad idea. So Nolan Arenado, rumors maybe will go to a different team, and we'll have to wait and figure out by the end of this season. Anyways, guys, that is the MLB news. So that's my second MLB news. If you guys do like this video, let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of these. If any of these you think will happen, or any new, things you think there's anything that's going to change, or any other important news that I missed out, let me know down in the comments so I can do it next time in the next couple days. Anyways, guys, hope you like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.